Have you guys ever been chilling, hanging out, maybe with family or friends at a park, a family gathering, and everybody's playing basketball, shooting, and you just don't know what to do? And you're like, man, I wish I could go play with them. I wish I knew how to play the game of basketball, but I don't know how to shoot. It's going to be embarrassing. Well, today's your lucky day, because I'm going to show you guys how to shoot a basketball the fundamental way. So today, guys, I'm going to be showing you guys how to shoot a basketball. There's 3 shots that are commonly taken, and that's the layup, the mid-range jumper, and the 3-pointer. So for the layup, it's pretty basic, but you have 2 steps. 2 steps before you can shoot it. You don't have to, but you can. So I'm gonna show you guys how to do the layup first. All right, come on. So the layup, it's gonna basically be a close shot to the hoop, and you're gonna be driving the entire time. So basically what you're gonna wanna do, you're gonna drive, pick the ball up, 1, 2, and then finish. That's the slow pace way, and I'll show you the faster way right now. That's a little bit faster. That's called a layup. They're pretty simple. They're the closest shot, but also sometimes the hardest shot, as there's usually someone in there guarding you. So now I'm going to be doing the mid-range, and that is anywhere inside the arc of the 3-point range. So the mid-range is a kind of a lost art in the game, but it's definitely a cool shot. And just anywhere really, maybe around right here. I'm gonna get one to fall. That's the mid-range shot. It's pretty close, and it's inside the arc. And now we're gonna be shooting a 3-point shot. Okay, guys. And now the 3-point shot. And there is a bunch of fundamentals to the game that I will be teaching you now. So basically, when you're shooting a basketball, there's this little mark right here where you fill up air. A good way to know where you're supposed to put your hand at is your pointer finger on there. And then you kind of want to load your wrist. So you don't want to shoot like flat like this. You want to have your wrist loaded. So then when you come up, you can flick that wrist. And when you flick the wrist, it's called hand in the cookie jar. So basically you want it held high, like you're reaching in a cookie jar. That's what basically has been told, and everything. The finish is really important, so you want to hold that follow through until it goes in the hoop. Another thing is you want your shoulders pointed towards the hoop. It's so that like you can kind of just shoot straight, and that's also a good technique. As well as you want to be able to have your legs bent. So you don't want to just shoot while you're just standing straight up, because you're not going to get any power generated from your legs. So that's just a bad thing. So when you're going to shoot, you want to have your wrist loaded, palm on the finger, and then you want to squat kind of. So you kind of want to be like this, ready to shoot, and then you're going to take off. And then you're going to hold the follow through and finish. So I'll show you one more time. So I'm down. And that's actually the way that you want to shoot a basketball. Once again, there is a lot of different kind of shots you can take. But for the most part, the most important thing I would say for shooting a basketball would be holding that follow through. It was something that took me like a very long time to do. And having your wrist loaded. You don't want to have a flat wrist, but you want to be able to have it loaded so that you can generate power and finish strong at the end. So when you're shooting, you kind of want there to be a little gap like that. If you look at all the great shooters, they all have this tiny, tiny little gap. Flat palmed is kind of a bad way of shooting, because you don't have as much control, because if you're flat palmed, it's a little loose. But if you have that little thing, you're kind of gripping the ball like that, so then you can be ready to go ahead and launch it off your fingers, and then you want to hold that follow through. The follow through is super important for every shooter. If you look at every great shooter, everybody has that same follow through, and it's just a very fundamental thing If you look at the great shooter Steph Curry, you can always see him having his wrist held like that. LeBron James, greatest of all time, you can always have to see that as well. And I'll show you guys one more shot before I go. One more. All right, and that is how you shoot a basketball. Now, after that video that I showed you guys of me at the park, do you think you could shoot a basketball, or maybe even teach somebody a little bit about shooting a basketball? Now, once you guys hang out with your family or friends, or maybe at a park, family gathering, whatever it is, now you guys know how to shoot a basketball.